General spoiler warning for story content in Honkai Star Rail. You have been warned. Quick disclaimer, footage used in this video was borrowed from other sources. Here's the list of channels and content creators I borrowed footage from. Also, if I get anything wrong, let me know in the comments below.
By the will of the Ten Lords, execute the Marastruck!
抱え込んだってなんだって満足できない答えなんだ感情は際年鳴りやまない頭で分かってしょうがないから
This had to be a 2-for-1 where I analyzed both. You can't really talk about one without the other. The only times they were apart was their on-screen debuts and when they were added to the game as playable units. Xueyi made her debut all the way back in 1.0, where Dan Heng and his two new friends save her from some Mars-struck enemies. We learned she's one of the 4 judges of the Xianzhou's Ten Lords Commission, specifically the Judge of Detention. We also learned she's a cyborg. She got her motor broken while fighting the Mars-struck and couldn't move, but thankfully, Luocha was able to use his abilities to fix her right up on the spot. As for Hanya, she debuted in the 1.5 continuance quest on the Luofu, a foxy tale of the haunted, in the company of her sister and Huohuo. Hanya is another judge of the Ten Lords, the judge of interrogation to be exact. She can interrogate me anytime, I mean what? When you talk to Hanya in the fixed troll garden, you can learn from her dialogue that she and Xueyi have been in the Ten Lords Commission for at most 12 centuries. They've been in the same line of work for so long, it's no wonder it feels like the two are an inseparable package deal. Even the names they go by connect through a running theme. The name Hanya translates to Frigid Raven, which is also her username in the Ghostly Grove event. Xueyi's literal meaning is Snow White clothing, with her username during the event being Snowing Overcoat. Through these names, you get the picture of a pair of cold existences, indicating how they're both husks of their former selves in different ways.
As a member of the Ten Lords Commission, you may as well consider me a member of the dead.
Hanya and Xueyi are nicknames for the white and black pieces in a Xianzhou chess game. Xueyi is the nickname for the white pieces, Hanya is the black pieces. We don't know their original names, and Hanya makes it clear that she and her sister discarded their names upon becoming judges. To quote Hanya directly, once you entered the Ten Lords Commission, it's like entering a life after death. Your name and life before are meaningless. This makes sense, as the Ten Lords Commission is a reference to Chinese mythology. Diyu is the realm of the dead in Chinese myth, and the Ten Lords of Yanlao exist to judge the severity of a person's sins. The amount of time a soul spends in Diyu before being reincarnated and the punishment they're given is dependent on the weight of their sins. Another name for the 10 courts is the 10 lords, with the same hyphen in the middle that's present with the Xianzhou's commission. But we do know some things about the sisters' lives prior to working for the 10 lords. The key moment in their past is illustrated in the Under the Blue Sky light cone. In a field of wheat, Xueyi wove together a flower wreath that she placed on Hanya's head. That was when they were still the same height. That was when they shared the same smile. The story of this light cone is referenced at least once in both of their character stories, plus Hanya sketches it in the art for Multiverse Vistas 2024. This is one of the few moments of pure happiness the sisters had throughout their very long lives. Xueyi's third character story actually gives us a bit more insight into their past. They were once Starskip pilots, facing whatever the world threw at them side by side. Xueyi would always be sure to gently wipe any dirt or stains that got on Hanya's face. Xueyi was the older sister, but she also served as a mother figure for Hanya. Just like herself, her sister has grown and matured. She shouldn't always wipe her sister's face clean in front of everyone like an anxious mother. But how could she ever just let go of things? She vowed to protect this face forever, vowing to do many, many things. We don't know what exactly their home life was like, but the fact Xueyi feels such a natural urge to take care of her sister like a mom does lead me personally to believe their parents were absent in their lives. But if there's anything we've learned so far about the Xianzhou characters, it's that once the characters get old enough, they get emotional damage. Tragedy would eventually strike the sisters, and it was all Shu-Hu's fault. It was during the zombie planet Ra-Hu's attack on the Xianzhou Sung-Chung. Air forces from the Yaoqing showed up to fight the Army of Abundance only to get wiped out. Later during the battle, the land had become scorched in flames, and Xueyi would die in the process, as her character details reveal her mortal body was reduced to ash. As a spirit, Shuhu reached out to her, promising that he could save everyone by bestowing them the abundance's blessing of immortality. Sobbing, she closed her eyes, incapable of providing any resistance. At this moment, she was just an insignificant fruit upon this giant tree, powerless against mighty roots. In case you're wondering, they're very literal about the fruit thing. Hanya picked up a broken sword to try resisting, only to be frightened when her sister's face blossomed out of the walking, talking tree, along with the faces of her other dead comrades. I'm only bringing this up because what in the fucking nightmare fuel? I think it's safe to say, after this and the Jing Liu analysis, Shuyu is an asshole. I know, hot take of the century over here, but like...
He's an asshole.
Hanya and her comrades would also fall victim to Shuhu's influence and become Mara-struck, sprouting flowers out of their bodies. Their saving grace was the Laofu's general at the time, Teng Xiao, who used the power of Lightning Lord to stop Shuhu for the time being. While Hanya and Xueyi's souls were saved from the forces of abundance, they did not leave that battle scot-free. Now, how exactly they joined the Ten Lords isn't explained from what I could find, so the following explanation is just what I could discern from context clues. The sisters were still tainted with Mara, so the Ten Lords deemed them unsafe to let them continue their average lives. They offered the sisters positions in the commission to work outside the public eye. Otherwise, their souls would be locked away in the Hall of Karma. Now, you may have noticed just how shitty of a hand these two were dealt here. These girls were being punished for being stricken with Mara, even though it happened because they were up against an emanator of abundance, someone who can make you Mara-struck just by looking at you a certain way. But, oh boy, we're only at the tip of this iceberg. Just you wait, their story gets even worse from here. They built Xueyi a cybernetic body for her soul to reside in going forward. As the judge of detention, she would go out and take down criminals. They continuously reiterate how she lives in a puppet body, following the orders of the Ten Lords without question. However, Xueyi made a compromise with the Commission. For every villain she captured, she'd get to spend half a day in the living world with Hanya. The two were worked to the bone, being treated as nothing but pawns for the Ten Lords, tying back to that chess metaphor with their code names. By the way, I neglected to mention this in my initial recording, so I'm sorry for the abrupt transition into this next piece of info. I decided to look into the inspiration for the small mask that Xueyi wears on her outfit, as its imagery is used in her ultimate as well. I remembered Xiao from Genshin had a similar mask, so I figured it must be connected to Chinese culture. Xueyi's mask is in part inspired by Nuo opera, a type of traditional theater in China where the actors wear stylized masks. However, the exact mask they used as inspiration for both Xueyi and Xiao is from a similar performing art in Japan called No. This mask is commonly used to represent women who have turned into demons due to their overwhelming sorrow and rage. You can see that as a metaphor for Xueyi having been turned into a cyborg who feels great sorrow and rage due to her current predicament. To top it off, the name of the mask is Hanya. There's no way that wasn't intentional. Hanya's specific job involves her living through a sinner's memories to accurately judge their sins, writing down their verdict and punishment with the oracle brush she uses as her weapon as a playable unit. So aside from the flower wreath one with her sister, all the other memories mentioned in Hanya's first character story are not memories that belong to her. Due to the high amount of negative emotions she's exposed to through exploring the memories of sinners, Hanya is constantly on the verge of becoming Mara-struck. She has to drink the wine of Oblivion to wipe the sinner's memories out of her mind. However, this wine has the side effect of making her forgetful of her own memories, meaning that if she keeps taking it, she's bound to forget even her sister. Well, that sucks, to say the very least. Is Shuji's situation any better? No. Not at all. For one thing, her new body means she's incapable of many of the things she could do or feel when she was human. She can't sigh, she can't feel pain, she has next to no emotions, and as noted by the Lycone Return to Darkness, her body doesn't exude any warmth whatsoever. A violent surge of fury irrevocably overwhelmed her so much that she didn't even find the time to clear her mind, or to remember this crucial and neglected fact. Big Sis's body has been cold like this for a very long time. But believe it or not, viewers, we're still not done. Somehow it gets even worse than her losing so many human functions. The criminals that Xueyi goes after are typically very dangerous, so her battles with them, more often than not, result in her cyborg body taking a lot of damage. And sometimes that damage isn't repairable, meaning she has to transfer her soul into a new puppet body. But that isn't a smooth, simple process. Sister, having an ingenium body will always lull you into a false sense of invulnerability. However, I have to use the remaining days of reanimation to offset premature damage to this body of yours. I hope you can remember during your next mission that you've still got a sister out there who cares about you. I remember. Otherwise, you'll have to get Huohuo to write this line into your mind. Just joking, Huohuo. No need for that. I trust my sister can remember it. While this may seem like a harmless joke at first, there was this line at the end of Xueyi's third character story that made me look at this from a different angle. Like everyone who jolts awake from a dream, she returns to her body, but has forgotten the momentary dream. The judge, dressed in white, feels befuddled. When Xueyi's consciousness is transferred into a new robot body, it's not fully guaranteed that her memory will stay completely intact. The transferring of her soul may cause some small bits of amnesia. Both of these sisters are having their memories regress more and more as they continue their work for the Ten Lords Commission, and the worst part is that it is acknowledged that eventually the two sisters will forget each other. What happens after that is told in Hanya's second character story during a conversation between the two. If I end up forgetting everything about you, then both of us can finally embrace our demise without any burdens. By the benevolence of the Ten Lords, this promise has been recorded in the depths of the Hall of Karma. And at that moment, we shall relinquish all and enter eternal slumber. I won't lie, before making this video series, I did not read much on the lore. Making these videos really enlightened me to how much depth there is to this game's universe. I already figured Hanya and Xueyi's past was tragic from what could be gleaned from their appearances in quests and their light cones, but damn, I never would have thought their story would be this depressing. These two have one of the saddest backstories of any playable character in this game. They were purely victims of circumstance, going into battle against an opponent that severely outclassed them. They were unfairly punished and turned into pawns for the Ten Lords Commission, slowly losing themselves and their memories of each other. The only memories that persist of their lives prior were a scant few moments of their childhood, tainted by the battle that ruined everything for them. The only saving grace is that they've lived their whole lives together up until now, and at least they'll be able to die and rest peacefully together too. I don't really have a good way to end this. Hanya and Xueyi show us that sometimes life is utterly awful and unfair, giving good people the worst possible fates. The only hope is that they find a way out of the Ten Lords Commission and are allowed to live their lives on their own terms again, but who knows if that will ever happen. I think the perfect statement about what Hanya and Xueyi's story represents is Zhao Chu's voice line about them.
Those two sisters epitomize the failures of the Xianzhou Alliance. No one can live well, and no one can die well. If even death is a luxury, then what kind of monsters have we become?
Thank you for watching this video. This is one part of a series of analysis videos on the Xianzhou's cast of characters. If you want to see me analyze another character from the Xianzhou, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future uploads. Also, like this video to let me know if I did a good job. As a smaller content creator on the platform, engaging with my videos really, truly helps me out. Thank you once again for watching, have a great rest of your day, and until we meet again, take care.